Let's make a Chinese New Year dragon. So what do you know about Chinese New Year celebrations? First, let's learn a little more about Chinese New Year. Let's learn about how the New Year is celebrated in Chinese culture around the world. Chinese New Year is also called Lunar New Year. The traditional Chinese calendar is called Luna Solar, meaning it follows the movement of the moon and the sun. So that means that Chinese New Year is not celebrated on January 1st. Chinese New Year celebrations start with the new moon, which happens sometime between January 21st and February 20th. It's celebrated with a 15-day festival in China and in Chinese communities around the world. In 2021, Chinese New Year will begin on February 12th, and this will be the year of the ox. Each year is represented by a different animal, which is given based on the Chinese zodiac. The Chinese zodiac is a repeating cycle of 12 years. You can pause the video here to find your birth year and animal. To celebrate Chinese New Year, red lanterns are hung up as decorations. They symbolize luck and prosperity in life. Traditional foods are eaten to bring good luck in the new year. It is custom to give a red envelope filled with money to your family and friends. This represents good wishes and luck for the new year ahead. Mandarin oranges are also known as a symbol of good fortune. During the celebration, there are parades where dragon dances are performed. The dragon is believed to bring good luck to people. The longer the dragon dances, the more luck it will bring to the community. The lion dance is a traditional Chinese dance where performers mimic a lion's movement in a lion costume, which also brings good luck and fortune. So now that we've learned about Chinese New Year, let's create our own Chinese New Year dragon face. We will be using symmetry in this project. What does symmetry mean? Symmetry in art means that the image is the same on both sides. The dragon face is an example of bilateral symmetry because there is one line of symmetry down the middle. So if we look at the dragon face picture, look at the white line that goes vertically down the middle. Both sides of the dragon's face are pretty much exactly the same. The star is an example of bilateral symmetry where that dashed line goes directly down the middle and both sides are the same. We're going to try to draw a symmetrical dragon face today, but we're going to focus on drawing one side and tracing the other side. So here's the directions for day one of our Chinese New Year dragon. This is a 2-day project. For your supplies, you will need a piece of paper. Printer paper works best, or a paper that you can see through because we will be doing some tracing. You'll need a pencil, an eraser, a black marker, and coloring materials of your choice. First, we'll start by folding our paper hot dog style to create a line of symmetry. Next, keep your paper folded and follow along with the video to draw the left half of the dragon's face with pencil. Make sure the right side of your paper is the creased side or the folded side. After, outline the first half you drew with a black marker. Then fold your paper the other direction and trace the second half of the dragon face with pencil. Then outline that half with the black marker. So if we look at the picture here, we can see this is the left side where the L is, this is the right side where the R is. And we're going to start by drawing this left half of the dragon's face with pencil. You can follow along with me in the video in just a moment to get started. When you do this, make sure the middle of the dragon's face is on the creased side. After, we'll outline the left side first, and then we'll trace the right side with pencil before outlining. So here's the directions for day 2 of your Chinese New Year dragon. Finish any steps from day 1 if you need to. Then, color in your dragon face using mostly warm colors, like reds, oranges, and yellows. Use symmetry with your colors to make both sides of the face the same. After, add value shading on the edges to make your dragon face look more realistic and three-dimensional. White and black crayons or colored pencils work best for this. You can see in my example here that there's some white on the left sides and some black shading on the right sides. Also on the bottom, there is some black shading, and on the top of shapes, there's some white shading. This will just really make your dragon pop out from the page.
The best kind of paper for this is something that is a little bit see-through, like printer paper, which is also called copy paper, or any kind of thinner paper. Usually we might like a thicker paper for an art project, but we actually want to be able to see through this paper a little bit because we're going to be doing a symmetrical dragon face and folding our paper in half and tracing the other half. So a thin piece of blank paper, a pencil, an eraser, a black marker for outlining, something to add color with, and some crayons or colored pencils to add some value shading with at the end. So to start, we're going to fold our paper in half, hot dog style. So let's go ahead and do that. And by folding, we're making a line of symmetry, or a line that's going to go down the middle of our dragon's face. We're actually only going to be drawing half of the face on our own. We're going to end up tracing the other half after. So when you do this, it's really important that you draw on a certain side first. So I folded my paper in half, hot dog style. I'm going to fold it back. And we want to make sure that the creased side, the folded side, is on the right. So your right hand, the right side, the crease is on the right. The middle of the dragon's face should be in the middle of the paper. So you want the middle of the dragon's face to be closer to the creased side. The open side should be on the left. So your left hand you can make an L shape with. Your right hand you cannot. You make a backwards L with. The open side is the outside of the dragon's face. The creased side will be the middle of the dragon's face. So when you start drawing, make sure your paper is that way. So we're going to keep our paper folded like this to draw, and we're going to try to find the middle of our paper. Just kind of guess where the middle would be. So about right here. For the video, I'm going to be drawing with a black marker, but you should draw this with pencil first. Do not draw with a black marker because we're using thin paper and we don't want it to bleed through, especially because our paper is folded. That marker might bleed through to the other side. So you need to be using a pencil first. So we're going to try to find the middle area again, and we're going to start with a little short diagonal line. We're going to create the nose shape of our dragon. Then we're going to make a little circle. This is the nostril of the nose, a little bit out from that diagonal line. Then we're going to make another diagonal a little bit above. And we're going to make a curved line that goes around that circle. Then I'm going to connect that with a pointed line. This is the nose of the dragon. Then we're going to make a zigzag line that comes out and curves around. So like this, up, down, up and out, and down. And then this is going to curve and hook around. And if yours doesn't look exactly like mine, that's totally fine. Feel free to add any other fun details that you think will make your dragon look cool. It is okay if it doesn't look exactly like mine. Then we're going to make this curved line that comes out. So I'm going to come up and go down and curve back up. And these lines need to end right on the crease. Then let's make a big mouth shape. So I'm making half of a mouth. So it's gonna go like this, down, and go to the edge of the paper. Inside the mouth, we're gonna draw the teeth. So we're gonna go make some fangs. The first one I'm making a little bit longer. Then I'm using a triangle shape or a zigzag line. On the inside of the mouth at the bottom, I'm making another fang that curves and using another zigzag line. Now let's make the inside of the mouth, kind of showing the back of the throat and the tongue. I'm going to use a curved line and another curved line and a very short curved line. And just to add more detail, I'm going to make a long curved line and use a zigzag shape and at the edge of the paper. And then a long fang shape. These also kind of look like fire. Let's focus on the eye now. So above this nose shape that we drew, I'm gonna draw 2 more diagonal lines that go up. Then let's draw a big circle for the eyeball. Do a little oval on that for the reflection, and a big curved line for the eye, and another curve for the bottom of the eye shape. Now I'm going to continue this line and make it come out. This is kind of like its long eyebrow shape, and make a zigzag line above it that also kind of looks like a big flame. Let's make a shape around that. So I'm following the shape of that flame. Let's draw some lines underneath the eye shape, just making a little curve that follows the shape. And let's do some more lines above the nose. So these are just gonna go at an angle and go to the edge of the paper. You can do a couple more than mine or a few less. It just depends on your picture. Now we're going to draw all of these cool flame shapes above the dragon's eye. Yours don't have to look exactly like mine or be in the exact same place. So I'm just going to start and make a big shape, and then I'll fill in with shapes inside. So I'm using this kind of curve line and then another curve. Then a slightly curved line and another curved line. This one's gonna go to the edge. Then I can fill in and see where there's empty space for more. I'm gonna bring the shape all the way down around the eye. And again, yours don't have to be in the exact same place as mine. Just try to fill in the space around the eye and the eyebrow shape. I'm going to fill in these bigger flame shapes with some smaller ones on the inside. So again, I'm just following that same curved shape. Now I'm going to draw some curves that come out to the side and one that comes down. So the one that comes down is going to start back here by the nose, go behind this shape and come down, kind of like the letter J. Then I'm going to make the other side. And then these will come out. So we'll go like this. So now I've drawn half of my dragon's face. We're going to trace the other half so we end up with a completely symmetrical image. So you should have drawn this first with pencil. Now your job is to outline this half only with a black marker. The black marker is going to help you be able to see through your paper.
So when I flip my paper over to the other side, I can see my drawing through it. If I hadn't traced it yet, I probably wouldn't be able to see the pencil lines through very well. If you have a thicker paper or you're having trouble seeing through your paper to trace the other side, one trick that you can do is hold this paper up to a window. You can also use a piece of tape and tape it to the window, and the light from outside will help you be able to see through your paper and trace. Here's a picture of how you could do that. Use the piece of tape to tape your paper in place so that it doesn't move while you're tracing. But if you can see through it fine on your own without putting it up to a window, then just go ahead and do that. So I can see through my paper pretty well here. I'm just going to go around and trace all of the lines that I see. And make sure that as you're tracing, your dragon's face is in the center of your paper. So if I open this up, I can see that the other eye shape is in the right spot. So I'm going to go ahead and go through and trace all of the lines. Tracing the second half of the dragon face with pencil. Now let's open it up and see what it looks like. Awesome! The next step is to trace this half with my black marker. So now I've finished outlining my entire dragon. The next step is to check and see if there's any parts that are uneven on the sides. So I noticed that this curve was a little wider than this one, so I was trying to even it out. You can also erase any of the extra pencil lines on your drawing to make it look neater. When you're erasing, make sure you use the L shape on your hand as the safety zone, so you can erase on the inside of the L so you don't crinkle your paper. Now I'm ready to add color to my dragon face. I'm going to be using warm colors to color in my dragon because we usually see them in warm colors. So lots of orange, red, and yellows. I'm also going to color in some parts with black. Those parts will be the eyeball, and I'm going to leave that little oval that we drew white for the reflection. And I'm also going to color in around the teeth black, so the inside of the mouth, and the nostril black. So those areas you might want to color in black and use warm colors for the rest. When you're adding color, remember that our focus here is using symmetry. So when you add a color to one side, so remember our crease is our line of symmetry, I'm going to find that shape on the other side and color it in the same color. That way our colors are symmetrical too. So I wouldn't want to color that in yellow and then color that one in red. That would not be using symmetry. So again, let's see, find a shape, color it in, and find it on the other side. Color it in the same color so we continue to use symmetry. Now that I've colored in my dragon, the final step is adding some shading with a white colored pencil and a black colored pencil. You can also do this with a black crayon and a white crayon. I'm going to add some shading with the black on the edge of everything that is facing down or to the right side. Then I'm going to add white on the top of things and things on the left side. This will just make my dragon pop out a little bit more from the page and look more three-dimensional. Alright, I am all done with my Chinese New Year dragon. I hope you had fun learning about Chinese New Year and learning how to draw a symmetrical dragon face using warm colors and some value shading. I can't wait to see what you create. Have fun, artist!